Yo, it's cool times, gang to my cats, up to all my ducks. Are you guys sick and tired of flipping NFTs and losing money? It's happening a lot right now, but there's still some incredible opportunities in Web3. We're talking to a collab manager today who's making like $20,000 a month, working with projects, working with influencers, onboarding Web2 brands to Web3. So today I'm gonna teach you guys, along with CK, how you can become a collab manager and make $20,000 a month. We're gonna do a little bit of a different giveaway. If you like and comment, one person is gonna win a chance to have a 15-minute Zoom meeting with me where I'm gonna run down everything you need to know about being a collab manager. So like and comment if you're interested in this. But let's get in that video today about how you can become a collab manager, make money in Web3 without flipping NFTs. Let's go. I'm with CK, one of the top collab managers in the NFT space. How did you become a collab manager?
Honestly, it was kind of a stroke of luck. And I think, I don't know. I've been super blessed for where I've gotten. I was really lucky to meet some really great people early on. I'm sure a lot of you know Jeremy Fall, founder of Probably Nothing, Golden Egg Club, probably a label. Lots of great projects, but I found him super early as an alpha caller. Actually, I was alpha calling in the Heart Project. That was kind of my entry into the space. And through alpha calling, I developed a really great eye for what separates good and bad projects. And that's really what he was able to identify in me, is that I had that eye. And so I joined them as an advisor. And through advising, I actually moved into collab managing. I did pretty much their whole marketing strategy. At the time, I didn't really know what I was doing, but I was really blessed to meet a lot of really great people through collab managing, including NFT Boy. I'm sure many people know him. He's one of the legends in this space, especially in the collab managing sphere. And through that, he really helped me build out a crazy network. And with that, I've grown my own consultancy and built out a really great collab managing service.
What is collab management? Because we hear a lot about it. Still not enough people know that this position even exists. So just break us down real quick. What does it mean to be a collab manager?
Collab managing in and of itself is really just creating partnerships between projects. So it's really run completely in DMs, and most projects, whether you see it or not, it's the sole marketing vessel for the vast majority of projects in the space. It's really just DGens and DMs talking to each other and exchanging allow list spots. And it's a really great system. It works for projects. Like, as far as actually growing your following, growing exposure, like that's how projects do it. You go enter a giveaway and only snipers, in reality, they're giving, in theory, they give us say 10 spots in exchange for 100 follows because it's a raffle. That's how that sort of thing works. And so that's really what collab managing is it's managing the back end for that. And it's incredibly valuable to projects because it's so hard to build this network. And if you don't have it, it really is impossible to get without already having it. It's so hard to build that network. So yeah, that's collab managing.
Give us a ballpark. How much money do collab managers make?
It completely depends on the range of service, how many collabs you do, and your experience. I know collab managers who have made upwards of 20 grand a project. I've made 20 grand off of one project before just for collab managing. Normally I bundle collab managing with advising. I think that's the best way to do it. You can increase your range of service and also ensure that the projects that you're collab managing for and that you're promoting in DMs to your friends actually do well. So it's really great to bundle those as far as actually making yourself as successful as possible. And the different rate breakdowns that I typically see in this space is you can charge a few different ways. You can charge flat rate, which I generally see between 2 and 5 grand normally if people are doing flat rate. Another common one for projects that aren't doing any sort of advisory or anything, a lot of them do a per collab basis or a performance base. So they can do it either percentage of sale, which isn't as common. I never take percentages. I only do flat rate, or per collab. And then if it's per collab, normally people charge somewhere between 25 and 75, depending on the experience of the collab manager and the projects you're working with.
Seems like the best of both worlds. You're able to make money with a Web3 profession and able to meet a lot of different types of people. I've been blessed to be one of those people that you reach out to for collabs, and honestly, you've hooked it up before. So I think collab management, great opportunity for a lot of people. It's November 2022 though, okay? You talked about the Heart Project. You kind of got into this early at the right time. tips for people trying to get into collab management right now who might not have the clout?
Honestly, it's a hard profession to get into. The thing I'll say, people like me, people who are working with, say, agencies and just larger projects in general, like we need help. Like I have a team that works underneath me. NFT Boy has a team that works underneath him. Like every person I know who's like legitimately really good or really big in the collab managing space has teams of 2, 3, 4 people. I think the best way to get in is to work with one of those people, like DMing the right people and figuring out who needs help and partnering with them, because building the network's incredibly hard. But if you can ride off of someone else's network, I mean, you can essentially build an entire network off of one allow list. Like that's what I did with Stickman Toys. I launched a project, Stickman Toys, with Warner Records. I found NFT Boy, and he literally just connected me with everyone in the space. He connected me with like 100+ projects and built like over half my network in like one conversation. So that's what I found. Beyond that, I mean, you can just be a grinder and just start DMing people, get to know people, build your network, and create value for yourself.
There's kind of a Web3 drinking game out there right now. It's whenever a Web2 project launches something and says they want to bridge the gap between Web2 and Web3, you could probably take a shot and get really drunk. But you've been fortunate, and a lot of other people have been fortunate to work with big Web2 brands. They need help with Web3 ingratiation with different communities, stuff like that. Can collab management be bigger than we even think when we're talking about creating an agency and onboarding, whether it's Kellogg's or Nike or Friday Beers? How big can this profession be when it comes to, hey, let's onboard a Web2 company to Web3 and we need help with that? How big can that be in the future?
I mean, I think that is the future. Like I've seen a million times. I know we've all seen it. Like people, Web2 IP enters the space. If they don't hire people who know Web3, they fail. Like every time. Like no one from Web2 can enter Web3 without hiring someone like me, whether it's an advisor or collab manager. Like that's just a necessary role to fill, because the way you market in Web3 is so different. You can't buy Twitter ads, you can't buy Facebook ads. Like it's just such a different game, and people in Web2 don't understand that. And I've been fortunate to work with a lot of big brands. I've launched 2 projects with Warner Records, one with CNN, one with Bose. So I've been blessed to work with a lot of this big Web2 IP, and that's just the sentiment across the board, is they don't know what they're doing. I've gotten on calls with VPs and like presidents of like just companies that I should have no business talking to, and they're asking me for advice, because the fact of the matter is they don't know. They don't know what a collab is, they don't know what alpha is, they don't know what an alpha server is. Like there's so many essential parts to the space that they're just not prepared for and don't understand. So I think the profession, like when the next bull market comes, and it's going to be such an integral role for anyone to launch successfully, especially the Web2 IP.
Let's talk about TAC, which I think is really important, because I think when I first started talking to you in DMs, I don't know, which you maybe had 1,000, 2,000 followers. I had, 50,000 or something like that. And a lot of people think like you need a bunch of followers to get on these calls with these types of executives, or DM and get a response from some of these influencers. How do you operate when you don't have many followers, you don't have many clout, don't have much clout, and you're DMing and trying to make connections?
Honestly, I think the key is to make sure you have value to contribute. The way I built my network, the way I built my following, and honestly, my entire brand was, I worked with probably nothing. I worked with Stickman Toys. I made it so whenever I DM people, I have value to give those people. They have a reason to respond. When I DM'd you, I had something to give you. It wasn't just me randomly hitting you up, because the fact of the matter is, a lot of these people with big followings, we just get DMs, like a lot of them. And at the end of the day, there's just not time to respond to a lot of those people. It's not like we don't want to, there's just not time. And so if you can make it so whenever you're DMing someone, you have value to exchange, that I would say would be the first thing. The second thing is, if you can find someone, again, if you can work with another brand, if you can ride off of someone else's brand equity, that's the best thing you can do. Like I did with NFT Boy, and like my partner Chalman, if anyone knows him, like he did with me. That's probably the easiest way to do it, if you can get in with a really great collab manager.
I think it also goes back to just showing up every day. I always saw you repping the Heart Project, was a project that I was very much into, and you showed up every day, and I saw your name, and I knew that you were an active person. You would reply to my tweets, you'd like my tweets, I'd see you in different communities. And so once you started to approach me with different whitelist opportunities or different partnerships with different projects, this is the cliche, show up every day and build and make connections, and eventually, you know, you have a huge network.
Building off of that, you're completely right. If you're responding to people's tweets, like whether they'll say it or not, they see it. You know, I see every DM that comes through my Twitter. I don't respond to the majority of them, but I see every one. And the reality is, if I see someone commenting on my post, like I remember those people. You know, I know the people who are actively on my Twitter, who are responding to all my posts. And when those people DM me, yeah, I respond, because, you know, they're my top supporters. You know, they've been with me through the ride. So I think, yeah, that's a really big part I miss. Just being active and being in the space. You do build a brand for yourself, whether you know it or not. You know, people might not be following you, but people are seeing you, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, because when I got a DM from you, it's like, oh, CK hit me up. What, you know, love to talk to you. If someone randomly hits me up with a copy paste type, you know, DM, I'm like, I don't know what to do with that. I don't know who this person is. Look, a lot of people are going to be watching this video now and might want to start getting into collab management. Give us the playbook right now. What are the action items for the people watching right now who want to get into collab management? You mentioned it earlier, you know, reach out to some big collab managers. You mentioned some of them, but give us some action items, things people can start doing right now, so that when that next bull run comes, they are in collab management.
The number one thing always for collab managing, and I mean, this goes for the whole space as a whole. This has given me so many other great opportunities, but building your network, you know, and building relationships. That's the other thing, is like most of the people I work with, like on the collab side, like within projects that I'm grinding with, like they're my friends, you know, they're not just random people I'm DMing. Like, these are people I have conversations with, you know, I just hop in voice chat with them and hang out while we're doing work, you know, like it really is pretty casual once you build those relationships. And that's such a big part of being a good collab manager, is building those relationships, because they're so powerful if you have the relationship and you can leverage it for a project. And it honestly just makes you so valuable. So I would say, I mean, that's the end all be all. It really comes down to building that network. And it doesn't mean you have to connect with every influential person. It just means build relationships, you know, do meaningful things in the space. And that starts with building your network.
Somebody you're definitely going to want to have in your network, or at least follow on Twitter, is CK. Let's put his Twitter right here. Make sure to follow him. We appreciate him coming on the show and always being a friend of the Snipers. Thank you very much, CK.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that's the video for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks to CK again. Make sure to go follow him and like and comment on this video if you want to have a one-on-one session with me. Also, this is some good value we're giving out for free. Click subscribe, really helps the channel. Or don't, who cares? The only thing I really do care about is that you say with me, gang,